Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to my class today. And this is an easy class for today. That's the task question in English. Remember that in the last class, we already seen the modal verbs. And this modal verbs, it was so important to see because to see this this topic uh, is so important to know what is a modal verb and what kind of modal verbs exist and how to use in a conversation or on do a polite request or using in in polite request or in possibilities. Also, we can use the model verbs in through recommendation. This is another important part when at the time we use a model verb. And now, then I'm gonna to present you the question tags and to use the very well to use in a specific way this task question tag. We must know already know what is the modal verb. Um, in this way, we can use the question tags. Okay. Now let's start it with the first one. The This is the learning objective. Our learning objective for today is by the end of the lesson, the student will be able to form and use tag questions correctly to confirm information and maintain conversation. That is our learning objective for today. And in a moment, please. Okay, what are question tasks? This is an interactive conversation tool and short question that added to end of statements to turn them into a question. And easy usually use it in confirming information you believe is true and seek agreement for listening or keep the conversation flowing naturally. That is the main purpose of this tag question. We in Spanish also use a tag question frequently. That this is so easy to understand this topic. But for include the topic for today, we are going to see a short audio, and this audio is explaining so well in an easy way what is that question, okay? And now get started with the video, and after that we continue with the presentation with the class. Give me a moment, please. Give me one moment because I'm gonna to share with to share. Okay, let's start again with the audio.
El detergente líquido con tecnología de renovación activa que cuida y renueva los colores de tu ropa en tan solo 10 lavadas. Tu ropa como nueva, una vez más con más color.
Okay, pay attention. This is information is so important to understand very well this topic. Okay, then pay attention to the topic, please.
Hi everyone, hola a todos, my name is Mr. P y juntos vamos a aprender a hablar en inglés. Hoy vamos a aprender a utilizar las question tag. ¿Sabéis lo que son? En esta lección lo aprenderemos. Here we go! En inglés es común acabar una frase con otra frase corta de signo contrario con forma de pregunta. Tiene la intención de mantener la atención con la persona con la que se habla y de comprobar si se está de acuerdo o no en algo. Equivalen en castellano a las típicas preguntas retóricas que utilizamos al acabar una frase como ¿no? O ¿verdad? O ¿no crees? Por ejemplo, It's such a delicious cake, isn't it? Es un pastel tan delicioso, ¿no crees? Para formar las question tag usaremos el verbo auxiliar y el pronombre personal que le corresponda al sujeto, pero de signo contrario, y lo formularemos a modo de pregunta. Si el verbo principal no es un verbo auxiliar, usaremos el verbo to do. Veamos unos ejemplos para que lo comprendáis mejor. Mara is so smart, isn't she? Mara es tan inteligente, ¿no crees? Como ves, en este ejemplo usaremos el verbo to be en negativo, ya que la frase principal está en afirmativo, y usaremos she, ya que es el pronombre personal que le corresponde a Mara. Tom studied a lot, didn't he? Tom estudió mucho, ¿verdad? En este ejemplo usaremos el verbo to do en negativo, ya que la frase principal está en afirmativo y el verbo principal no es auxiliar. Usaremos he, ya que es el pronombre personal que le corresponde a Tom. Anna isn't at home, is she? Ana no está en casa, ¿verdad? En este ejemplo usaremos el verbo to be en afirmativo, ya que la frase principal está en negativo. Usaremos she, ya que es el pronombre personal que le corresponde a Ana. Vamos a ver ahora las excepciones a esta norma. Cuando el sujeto es la primera persona del verbo to be, usaremos aren't I como question tag. Por ejemplo, I'm fine, aren't I? Estoy bien, ¿no es así? Cuando hacemos una frase en imperativo, siempre usaremos will you como question tag. Por ejemplo, clean your room, will you? Limpia tu habitación, ¿lo harás? Cuando hacemos una frase usando let's, siempre usaremos shall we como question tag. Por ejemplo, let's play, shall we? Vamos a jugar, ¿vale? Cuando hacemos una frase usando there, usaremos there en lugar del pronombre personal. Por ejemplo, there are a lot of songs, aren't there? Hay muchas canciones, ¿verdad? Vamos a practicar lo que hemos aprendido. Yo os pondré frases que deberéis completar con su question tag correspondiente. ¿Qué question tag pondrías aquí? Eso es, la frase quedaría así. You are my best friend, aren't you? ¿Qué question tag pondrías aquí? La frase quedaría así. You had a best friend at school, didn't you? ¿Qué question tag pondrías aquí? La frase quedaría así. That's just the way life is, isn't it? ¿Qué question tag pondrías aquí? La frase quedaría así. Bring me the ball, will you? ¿Qué question tag pondrías aquí? La frase quedaría así. It is cold today, isn't it? Y por último, ¿qué question tag pondrías aquí? La frase quedaría así: I'm wrong, aren't I? Y esto ha sido todo. Espero que las question tag hayan quedado mucho más claras ahora. Si queréis, podéis enviarme vuestros ejemplos. Nos vemos en el próximo vídeo. Bye bye.
Okay, that's the explanation about what is the question tag. That's it's so easy. That is so easy to understand what is the question tag. Now let's review some basic rule, the golden rule for this tag question. For example, in the first one, the tag usually contrasts with the main statement to create balance. For example, the basic structure of this is the statement plus tag question. For example, if the statement is positive, the tag is negative. If the statement is negative, the tag is positive. That is so important. For example, I can see this house is beautiful, isn't it? If the first statement is in affirmative way, in a positive way, and the tag question in a negative way, we must keep in mind or keep in bear this kind of this kind of structure for this tag question. Okay. Here in this, we have here one example. For example, you are a teacher, and you. The first one it is I'm gonna to highlight. Yeah, the first one, you are a teacher. This is in a positive way. Then the tag question, aren't you? This is a negative way. Okay, if when the statement is in a negative way, for example, here she isn't coming, then the tag question it is a positive way. It's she. Okay, let's continue. And the auxiliary modal verb, and what type on the verb type, for example, the verb, the main clause and question. For example, where the verb to be, you are happy, we use aren't you. The auxiliary verb, for example, and they have left, haven't they? And the modal verb, for example, she can swim, can she? And the future, the future will. This is the it will rain, won't it? That is so easy. And when we use using do, does, and did, for example, in the first one, use don't or doesn't. He likes tea, doesn't he? For example, we in the first one here in the present simple we have we don't have any auxiliary verb because we have here the sentences in the present simple. Then the main verb is conjugated with s in the third person. When we use the tag question, we put the doesn't he because we use the do when it's in the present simple. Okay. And the second one in the past simple it is in the same way. Why? Because we use did for all the subjects. Yeah. For example, they went out when is in a verb in a negative in the past simple. Then we use didn't that is auxiliary verb to answer the task question to form the task question. And the third rule is use do form when no auxiliary verb is present. For example, we use do when auxiliary verb is not present in the sentence. For example, here as I was explaining you. Here he lies. If no, then we could do. Okay. Let's review this activity to know more about that question. Okay. Let me open the link and continue with the explanation. Okay, let me open the link and share my screen. Okay, let me see first. Let me see, please. I'm gonna to reshare again. Give me a moment, please. Okay. Here we are going to see the tag question.
What are tag questions?
But the tag question, and we are going to see in Edu Paso in order to clarify some aspect about the tag question. Let me open. Give me a moment, please. I'm gonna to plug in my charger because my battery is run out. Give me 1 minute, please, and continue.
Tag questions
Okay,
include a short
confusing
phrase
about
called the tag at the end of a positive or negative sentence stem. For example, in the question, "That was a good movie, wasn't it?" "That was a good movie" is the sentence stem, and "wasn't it" is the tag.
what is the what is the tag question? A long phrase or a short phrase? According with me. Let's find out. Okay, a short phrase.
Why do we use tag questions in English? We use tag questions for emphasis or confirmation. Tag questions are very common in spoken English. When we are sure that someone will agree with what we are saying, we can use a tag question. For example, if my friend and I are looking at a small kitten and I think it is cute, I would assume that my friend also thinks it is cute. I can ask, "That kitten is cute, isn't it?" And my friend will probably answer, "Yes, it is."
For example, in this task question, in the question it is related with the question is related with what do we use tag question for? Then in the first one, for confidential information, of course, showing the second there, the first one is the correct answer.
How do we form tag questions in English? Look at the position of the subject and verb in the sentence
Please pay
stem.
attention with
Then form the tag by reversing the
the
order.
explanation.
In other words, put the verb before the subject in the tag. For example, in the question, "She is tired, isn't she?" the subject "she" comes before the verb "is" in the stem. In the tag, the verb "isn't" comes before the subject "she." The tag always takes a subject pronoun. If the subject in the sentence stem of the question is a pronoun, it remains the same in the tag. If the subject in the stem is a noun, it becomes a pronoun in the tag. For example, in the question, "They are hungry, aren't they?" the subject of the stem is they, so the subject of the tag doesn't change. But in the question, "The children are hungry, aren't they?" the subject of the stem is children, so the subject of the tag changes to they. The tag verb is always opposite of the verb in the sentence stem. If the verb in the stem is positive, the tag is negative. If the verb in the stem is negative, the tag is positive. For example, in the question, "He speaks French fluently, doesn't he?" the verb in the stem is positive, so the verb in the tag is negative. But in the question, "He doesn't speak Spanish fluently, does he?" the verb in the stem is negative, so the verb in the tag is positive. If the sentence stem uses the be verb, the tag uses the be verb too. For example, "This pasta is delicious, isn't it?" "The baseball game wasn't canceled, was it?"
For example, in this which of the following sentences are correct? The student aren't they? Laura is your sister, Laura. Or Daniel wasn't teaching movie yesterday, was he? Then let's find out. I believe the two one is correct. Continue it.
If the sentence stem uses a simple present verb other than be, the tag uses don't, do, doesn't, or does. For example, "You like ice cream, don't you?" They don't like broccoli, do they? He likes pasta, doesn't he?
Okay, in this sentence, in this sentence saying which of the following sentences are correct. For example, in the first one, you study English, don't you? This pen belongs to you, doy. Isa doesn't read book, does she? What if is which of the following sentences are correct? This first one is correct. And the second one, let's continue.
If the sentence stem uses a simple past verb other than be, the tag uses didn't or did. For example, we ran for hours in gym class, didn't we? You didn't finish your homework, did you?
Which of the following sentences are correct? For example, you work yesterday, do you? The first one is incorrect because the sentences is in the sentence is in the past and the task question is in the present. That is incorrect. The second one, the teacher didn't give the test, did he? This is correct because this is the negative sentence and this is the task question. And the last one, she gives a perfume, did she? This is incorrect because you must put the tag question in the negative wave. Okay, then the second one is correct.
For all other tenses and modals, the tag uses the auxiliary verb or modal that was used in the sentence stem. For example, your neighbors have sold their house, haven't they? She will call me back, won't she? You can't play the guitar, can you?
Okay, in this sentence, which of the following sentences are correct? I should study grammar, shouldn't I? Sophia has got a new car, hasn't she? She will call you tomorrow, won't she? Which of the following questions are correct? The first one, let's find out if it's correct. The second one, maybe it is correct too. And the third one, she will call you tomorrow. Let's find out if the three of the sentences are correct. Okay, two of the sentences are correct. Perfectly.
What is intonation? Intonation refers to the rising or falling sound of someone's voice. For tag questions, we use rising intonation in the tag when we are about 80 to 90% sure that someone will agree with us. We use falling intonation in the tag when we are about 95% sure that someone will agree with us. For example, if my friend and I watched a really good action movie, but I know my friend prefers comedies, then I'm only about 80 to 90% sure that my friend will agree with me. In this case, I would use rising intonation. I would say, "That was a great movie, wasn't it?" But if I know my friend loves action movies as much as I do, then I'm about 95% sure that my friend will agree with me. So I would use falling intonation. I would say, "That was a great movie, wasn't it?"
Okay, was the score correct? When we are 89% someone will agree with us, or when we are 90% sure what someone will agree with us, when we are unsure that someone will agree with us. What is the rising question? And what is the falling question? Okay, let's find out if it is. Okay, the first one is the correct answer. Continue.
How do we respond to tag questions in English? Make sure you respond to the sentence stem, not the tag. If you agree with the sentence stem, use the same type of verb in your response as the stem. Respond with yes for a positive sentence and no for a negative sentence. For example, you like hot weather, don't you? Yes, I do. I like hot weather. You don't like cold weather, do you? No, I don't. I don't like cold weather.
Okay, let's continue.
If you disagree with the sentence stem, use the opposite type of verb in your response as the stem. Respond with no for a positive sentence and yes for a negative sentence. For example, you like hot weather, don't you? No, I don't. I don't like hot weather. You don't like cold weather, do you? Yes, I do. I like cold weather.
Okay, this is a open question. This meet.
Look at the picture and the sentence stem. Say or write the correct tag. Try saying each question twice. First, imagine you are 80 to 90% sure that someone will agree with you and use rising intonation. Then, imagine you are 95% sure that someone will agree with you and use falling intonation. For example, you don't feel well today, do you? You don't feel well today, do you? Now you try.
Okay, let's continue with our class. In this exercise, we're going to see in the exercise. Let me find out. I have some exercise in the presentation. Okay, continue it with the class. This task question, for example, in the first one, we can complete the sentence. For the first one, for example, she is your friend. Then remember that we must answer this question in the negative way. Yeah. She is your friend. Then itchy, yes, itchy. Which we can be isn't. Why? Because the tag question must go in the negative way. And the second one, for example, the second one, they work here, then the tag question must be in a negative way. Then we put the same. Do, because we must use do. In the negative way, don't. Say. And the third one, for example, you like pizza. We use also the verb do, don't, because in a negative way, and you. And the third one, we use, for example, here is in the sentences in the past. Then we must use the auxiliary verb in the past too. Then we use did, and also in the negative way because it is in the statement is in a positive way. Didn't he? Okay. The another exercise for this. If you are hungry, for example, in this exercise, and the question is related with the verb to be, then we must answer with the verb to be, and it is in the positive way, then we must answer in the negative way. Remember, something so important that you must keep in mind is that we must answer the or answer no. We must form the tag question with the same verb or auxiliary verb that we use in the sentences. Okay, the tag question it is the same auxiliary verb that is in the clause or the sentences. Okay. For example, here we use are, the verb to be, then we use are too. We here, we he, we use here, and the verb, the auxiliary verb didn't, then we answer with the same, did, he. Yeah. And the last one, I remember in these sentences, let's start now. We must answer with the auxiliary verb should, should us, should we. Yeah. That is a rule when we use less, we use should. So, okay. And the last one, we use the verb, the auxiliary verb can, the modal verb can. We use can again. Can. She. Okay. Here in these sentences, in this time, the or exercise we practice and write 5 sentences, for example, in sentence related with that question. For example, she is your friend, isn't she? Or they work here, don't they? Yeah. We also can answer our question, for example, you are, or you walk yesterday. You go yesterday, comma. This is a positive way. We must form in a negative way. For example, do, don't you? Yeah. 5 sentences in this kind of or with this auxiliary verb. For example, we can use into which are. For example, you should go to the doctor, comma. In a positive way, you must put should in a negative way. Okay? Should shouldn't you? Yeah. This is an easy way to form the tag question and the cross. This is so easy. You want yesterday, don't you? You should go to the doctor, shouldn't you? That is so easy to form this kind of tag question. Another important, another modal verb that we can use could. You you could go, for example, comma, couldn't go, couldn't you, couldn't you. Yeah. This is an easy way to form this kind of tag question. This is so easy. Remember that we must use the same auxiliary verb or the same question or the same So the same auxiliary verb or the same modal verb to when we form the main clause and the tag question, we use the same. Okay, this is so important to understand. This is a good reminder that it is so important for this. Okay, that is our class for today, and this is a short class that this is related with a tag question. And the next classes we are going to see some review about mathematics. Yeah, some review about mathematics and present simple and the past simple. So in this kind of exercise, we are going to see, to do to practice present simple or past simple through mathematics. For example, reading short tests in mathematics with problems in mathematics related with the present simple and the past simple. And it's so easy to understand this kind of those exercise. But in order to improve our reading skills, it's so important to practice it in this way, in this real context. For example, if you have some problem in mathematics, and if it's in the present or in the past simple. And this is so easy to understand. And remember, try to practice English through video, audio books, or podcasts. It is so important to practice our English, our listening skills. Also, we can practice our reading skills. Give me a moment, please. I'm going to review some guys about the attendance of this meeting. Give me 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Yes. Okay, I'm reviewing the attendance for today. Give me 1 moment, please. Yes, it's already done. Attendance for today. That's us all for today. Okay, thanks for everything. And see you at the next class. The next class is Friday. Thank you so much.